Indian League of Innovation, HyCa Technologies, Private Limited. HyCa has developed a technology that allows it to harness energy dissipated from collapsing cavitation bubbles and use the energy to accelerate chemical reactions, break down complex molecules, ensure uniform mixing. This technology has applications across industries ranging from effluent treatment to petrochemicals.
Hello and welcome everyone. We present you Mr. Anjan Mukherjee, the MD and CEO of HyCa Technologies. We welcome you, sir.
Thank you.
So the biggest asset of your graph is your massive and gigantic 15 years of experience as an entrepreneur. So how do you feel, sir, the challenges for an entrepreneur has changed within these 2 decades?
Firstly, with this company, I am there for only close to 7 years.
Okay.
So previously I used to do other things, but I was on my own. And that was quite different from this present thing what I'm doing, which is a technology innovation.
Okay. So, sir, can we have an outlook of what you experimented at the beginning?
I was always interested in science, so I was reading up. I used to regularly read up on the latest things happening in science, which I still do. Let me first say that I'm a marine engineer.
Okay.
And there was a very peculiar problem on board ship.
Okay.
Which is when a ship goes from one place to the other.
Right.
It needs to, without cargo, it needs to take in water. And when it takes in the cargo, it has to discharge that water out.
Okay.
Unfortunately, that water has got microorganisms, and by regulation, that needs to be killed before it is discharged out, because otherwise it destroys the local ecosystem.
Okay.
So this sort of got me thinking, and I was reading up on this particular issue, and at that point of time, which is early 2000, there was no real solution for this. So suddenly I thought, let me also put my hat in and see if anything can be done about it.
Okay.
At that time it was totally academic sort of an exercise, because firstly I was a lone individual, and the people who were actually trying to solve the problems were all the biggest multinational backed by governments.
Okay.
This is like the Mitsui and the Mitsubishi and Exxon Mobil and BP and those type of companies. So obviously, there was never any intention of competing with them or anything like that. But very interestingly, one fine day I realized that these big companies, however big they are, the big huge buildings and the manicured lawns and all these things really don't do the thinking.
Right.
The thinking must be done by one single person there, who is actually going ahead and solving the problem. The others are all support. So if somehow we can outthink that one person in a big company, you're in business. And that's what it was a very illuminating thought, that and a liberating thought, that you can beat anybody. And I started researching it slightly more intensely. I came across this particular phenomena reading a pharmaceutical magazine.
Okay.
I don't know why I was reading it, but it was just one of those oddities which I was doing. And this particular phenomena of hydrodynamic cavitation was mentioned in it for breaking cells of some microorganisms.
Okay.
So logical thought was the seawater also has the same type of microorganisms, and if you use slightly more force, probably it will get killed also.
Right. Yeah.
So this was the germ of the idea, and then I did the most. I don't know how to put it. I just took an appointment with the director of National Chemicals Laboratory, and he was kind enough to even meet me, which I found very interesting. Because he's probably the topmost scientist in the chemicals space, and here I am a layman. And I went and met him. So he gave me certain leads, and which told me how to break up this particular problem into slightly manageable parts. And one thing led to the other. I got introduced, because I didn't know who are the experts in this particular field of cavitation. But then there was a huge stroke of luck that
Okay.
the world pioneer and my present partner, Dr. A.B. Pandit,
Okay.
he was also Bombay based and maybe staying 10 kilometers from where I stay. We didn't know each other from Adam. We went and I met him. And, when you meet someone, that immediate chemistry which happens and you feel that, yes, you can work together.
Okay.
So we hit it off very, very well. And what is interesting is our value systems were absolutely the same. My parents were teachers, so were his parents. We come from the same type of a background.
Okay.
Though we didn't know each other, we had a lot of common friends which we discovered. So at some point of time we realized that, what we are doing, what I suggested, maybe a company can be formed with this particular idea. And so we set up the company for actually treatment of ballast water of ships, which is the water which I told you about.
Right, sir.
Then these regulations actually kept getting postponed, and which was an international regulation, and we realized that we need to diversify our thought into other directions, and one thing led to the other. We have now many products. We've tried out many products, all with the same technology, with tweaking here and there. And in the background, the ships thing is also going on. So that's how I, a marine engineer, has suddenly become in the forefront of something which I was never trained for formally in chemical engineering. So work of fate.
So as an entrepreneur, sir, what would you like to suggest? You have to be risk capable or risk appetite up to what level, or how should you take these challenges big, especially when such MNCs are standing in front of you?
You don't even realize they're standing in front of you, because I never started or we never started the company having those people in mind at all. They were there, and what is very interesting is we were doing it out of passion. Never even thought that it will become a company.
Okay.
And if you're doing it with passion, what money is and who stands in front of you really doesn't matter at all.
Right. So since you have proved to be one of the epitomes of vision by predicting this sector in the Indian market before, 15 years or somewhat like that, right?
No, not really. This is no vision or anything.
Okay.
It is, people are not aware. If people are aware, I'm sure many people would have got into this particular thing which we are trying to solve. Having said that, people are not aware is also not totally true. The people who are aware and who know about these things, unfortunately, they never think in these lines. It's a default pioneering effort.
Right, people don't visualize this.
No, not really. It's not a question of visualizing or not visualizing. There are a lot of people who are very, very smart in India. They do everything, but this requires, like I said, passion. And, you want to do something, you do it. Some people have other passions. They're probably, but entrepreneurship, the ones I have seen who are, doing something, most of them have come out of some sort of a passion of this thing. It's never that you're trained for something or, you're trained to be an entrepreneur.
Right.
You're doing something and you get it hooked onto it, and, at some point you realize, my God, this can actually, give me some money also, or, someone else can fund your passion. So that's when you go ahead.
Exactly, sir. So according to you, as you took up entrepreneurship, what is more challenging in this era? Is it innovation and marketing, or redesigning a product and then marketing it?
There are two different ball games altogether. Like I said, there are so many people who have started their own business looking at which sector to get into and then back calculating from a IRR and seeing that, this is my passion.
Right.
There are people like that. That's a different ball game altogether. Here we never thought of doing all these things. It has just happened.
So you completely believe that entrepreneurship is just a byproduct of your passion?
You can say that, because I was doing it anyway. Not because I wanted to solve some great problem. The problem presented itself and I said, okay, let me also put my hand in it. And one thing leads to the other. There was no, at some point of time, it was never that, I want to be an entrepreneur in this space.
Okay.
That was never, It just happened.
So during this your entrepreneurship term, did you ever feel that the Indian government or its policies somehow affected your venture?
Government, all sorts of policies are there, and as a system, it's a total failure. But having said that, there are absolute gems in the system who, if you demonstrate to them that you're trying to do something, they always come out and help you.
Okay.
But it is not any structured help, which should actually have been there.
Right.
These are individuals who are there in the system, super bright, want to do things, want to change the system. But once you're in the system, you tend to flow. But the moment they see such people that, like say us, there are so many people who are trying to help us now. So as far as I am concerned, the system is working.
Yeah.
But for an outsider, suddenly if he sees whatever is going on, it's not working.
At that moment, being in the government system, one alone can't take so much that of initiative or doing things apart from the.
There's no question of you going to government initially, because it will not happen, because you don't know who to touch in this whole huge machinery. But if you have done some work and that will, without any returns, any expectations or even thought of a return, then like I said, it's your passion which you're doing it. And once you start off and you touch one good guy in the system, that guy will lead you to all other good guys. That is a very important, that one guy, to touch that one good guy.
Right.
Everyone has got a very fair chance of touching that one good guy, because there are many good guys in the government.
Right.
But if you expect the system to do it, forget it.
So, what views do you have about India in the prospect that despite possessing the required knowledge, abilities and inputs, etc., why do Indian companies don't get into homemade innovations and rely more on foreign exports?
I have no idea.
No?
I have no idea. But
Still not been able to figure it out, huh?
No, it's not a question of figuring it out. Even what we have done, this is totally whatever we are doing. We have, my partner and I, we are both India trained. We worked most of our lives here. Even after doing a thing, filing for a patent and all these things, whenever I go and meet customers, invariably they ask me, where do you get the technology? Is it from outside, your licensing, this, that? But when you tell them that, it's totally India, it's come out of India, firstly they're shocked, and secondly, then immediately one, you can say one barrier happens.
Okay.
That, my God, this is not tested, this is not this is not that.
Okay.
So, those are part of the fun.
Scrutining starts just from the time you say it's Indian, right?
Yeah, there is a barrier of some kind, and people don't have belief in themselves, which is so strange.
That's why, sir, we feel that all the MNCs, call centers have been placed here in India. And even just for, unbolting a screw, they call up here people, and people from here assist. So that's why, that's bring us to that question, why not have all that in our country itself?
Everywhere there are very good people. The type of people which I get to meet on a regular basis, it amazes me that how so smart people are there in this world. And why are they not doing something of their own rather than working for some strange whatever, some big company? Why are they doing it? Because see, at the end of the day, if you do something of your own, and amazingly enough, in today's context, if you're on your own, it is far more secure than any corporate job.
Right,
you can get chucked out, not because of your incompetence or anything, but because some strange takeover has happened in some foreign country, and they want to change the whole system.
And at the end of the day, you realize that yes, I'm running after my passion.
Yeah, I'm thrilled in what I'm doing.
Exactly.
It doesn't matter what other things. VCs hate that because they want you to be focused on making money for them.
Exactly.
And when you tell them that, I'm doing it because I want to do it, it comes as a big thing for them. And I don't think that is a problem in very many of the top VCs who have been entrepreneurs before.
Okay.
Because they understand where we are coming from. But all these other people who have, become a VC as a job, they are very different.
Exactly. So,
Not that they're any less bright or anything. Their focus is very different. Their way of seeing how the entrepreneur, whatever he has done, they look at them with a very different eye. Whereas the entrepreneur VC looks at you with a very different perspective.
so, as the scene stated by me, so what are the, suggestions to change this? Or what further we can help in as...
I do not know. These are two macro questions. As long as I can maneuver in this minefield, I'm very happy. Such suggestions should come from high ups.
Okay. So any message for the future entrepreneurs?
This again is those very macro this thing. We are struggling entrepreneurs.
Right.
So anyone who's got wants to do something and has got the confidence of doing it, so that is very much required. Without that innate confidence that you can do it and you can beat someone by outthinking that other guy, howsoever big he is, that is required. Without that, you can never be an entrepreneur.
Thank you, sir. So that was Mr. Anjan Mukherjee, the MD and CEO of HyCa Technologies, who was sharing his views on entrepreneurship. Thank you for being with us.